Master, your workers are slacking off. HM. Ah, those guys are off duty today. Off duty. It means that they have the day off. How could a worker of a labyrinth get a day off? Nonsense. Providing them with proper meals and rest is a much better decision than working them to their limit. The more you use your muscle, the less effective it gets. Less effective. I was once part of an excavation team. I'm just thinking from the perspective of a worker. His mindset is way too naive. I guess a human is still a human, even if they're the master of a labyrinth. Let's have a tour of the training hall. This labyrinth won't last very long. This place is worthless. Who's using the training hall today? It's the mages. I'll follow my plan. The development of the labyrinth is too slow. To be more exact, our down gem income is too low. The down gems we mine from the lode are barely enough to keep our workers paid. Fortunately, we have plenty of food and potable water nearby. Our forces occasionally hunt down the beasts near the labyrinth for down gems and supplies as well. Our daily income is around 3 low-grade down gems, since a single low-grade down gem is 3 points. I keep thinking that I went overboard last time, especially when it comes to the soldiers I summoned. What's the current soldier count? Yes. 2 soldiers died in the latest battle, and we currently have 42 soldiers, 2 knights, 1 mage, and 1 healer. The bigger our forces grow, the harder it is for me to command each individual. Now that we are scouting further, we're also encountering wild beasts more frequently. We suffer losses every time we battle. If not for the healer we summon towards the end, our forces may have already been annihilated. Our soldiers are as strong as mid-level floor monsters, yet they're still dying in battle. I don't know how the situation on the first floor has become like this. Master. There isn't a first floor in the Naga labyrinth. What? There's no way. I arrived at the Naga labyrinth by falling from the first floor. The deepest it could have been is the second floor. I think the labyrinth devoured you, Master. After you succeeded the throne, the labyrinth moved you back to the original place. Labyrinths without a master sometimes usher in their potential masters like that. Is that so? So the reason why the human items I found during the expedition seem to come from the war era, and the lack of humans there isn't just that it was a very isolated part of the dungeon. The entrance I used with reporter Yeo was an illegal path of the ridge. Then what floor of the underworld is this? I've never left the labyrinth since I was summoned here, so I have no way of knowing. That's quite troublesome. As much as I want to worry, so much time has already passed. Besides, there are relatively safe places even at deeper levels. And there's no guarantee that this place isn't on a deeper level. Is Rikschowska still in the labyrinth? She should be back in the pub after scouting by now. Why are you asking about that rude and arrogant elf mercenary? Because it's ridiculous that I don't know what floor my labyrinth is in. However, she's wandering around the underworld, so she might have an idea. Rikschowska. I am honored to be visited in person by your esteemed self. Humph. We can't allow an ungrateful mercenary like you in the throne room. Then why don't you add a door to the room? What did you say? Both of you, cut it out. Rikschowska. You said that you were a wanderer before coming here, right? Yes. Then do you know what floor this labyrinth is in? I do remember hearing about how humans divided the underworld according to that concept. But, as someone who was born and raised in the underworld, I cannot understand the humans' concept. Is that so? That makes sense. If you want me to, I could tell you about my experiences prior to being hired here. Good idea. Please, carry on. I see. I'm sorry to inform you of this. But, right beside the Naga labyrinth. There lies the labyrinth of the Flood Dragon King. A being who has survived the war of the underworld. But, right next to the Naga labyrinth, there lies the labyrinth of the Flood Dragon King. A being who has survived the war of the underworld. What? Right next to us? It's the place I visited right before coming to the Naga labyrinth. As far as I know, it has existed even before the Great War broke out. The master of the labyrinth is the Flood Dragon King, Anaxtis. It's the strongest of the Flood Dragons, and it's a typical labyrinth master that has protected its throne for a very long time. How far is it from here? It'll take around 4 days, if you take a direct path. They're very close to us. Since it's existed even before the Great War, it must have been there for at least a couple of decades. I'm sure that the size, level, quality, and quantity of their forces, like everything else about their labyrinth, are overwhelming. If labyrinths aren't balanced in power, the weaker labyrinth will typically be absorbed by the stronger. While I was working for one, I spent more time digging an attack route than expanding the labyrinth. Thanks to that, I was able to witness a lot of war among the beasts. They also seem to know about the existence of the Naga labyrinth. And what makes you say that? Between the two labyrinths, there exists an area ruled by the apex predator, Blood Leopard. They attempted to subjugate the leopard with some of their forces, but they seem to have failed. I don't think they would do such a thing without a reason. So does that mean they failed to acquire an attack route? Taking into account that they'll take a detour around the leopard's territory. They're not a very fast species, so it should take them at least 2 months. Great, we got some time on our hands. You seem to know more than I'd thought. Well, I did work for them before. A spy? Don't get me wrong. I'm just a mercenary. I just do what I'm hired to do. And I'm currently hired by the King of Naga. Alright, mercenary Rakshasa. I need you to do one thing for me. If you're going to ask me to fight against a flood dragon, I'd have to refuse. There's no fighting involved. I want you to tell me everything you learned and experienced while you were working for the Flood Dragon Labyrinth. After that, I want you to check their numbers and the direction they're coming from. I don't think they would be wary of you if you didn't get kicked out by them. It'll be expensive. Don't worry about the price. It'll take around a week. The elf departed with some food. I guess I should start preparing too. Master. I think that elf is hiding something. I know. She asked a weaker labyrinth to hire her, even though we're on the verge of a war. She definitely has some other motive. But I doubt she's working for the Flood Dragon. Maybe she's just an aggressive mercenary. That might be so, but... When Rakshasa told me about the Flood Dragon, I couldn't sense any loyalty in her words. Anaxtis doesn't take baths. Dominique, it's just as you had said. Of course, I'd expect her to sell our labyrinth's information. In that case, if we send her off unsupervised like that. It's better this way. They'll think that Naga soldiers are our only forces, that we don't have any down gems saved up, and that we're trembling in fear of the war. But everything you've said is true. Everything is true except for the part about us trembling in fear. Besides, there's also something I didn't expect from them. Anaxtis was in hiding for the entirety of the Great War. Why is that? He heard that the humans possessed a weapon that could kill him, even though he believed he was immune to all kinds of attack. He basically went into hiding because he was afraid of humans. Now, the king of the Naga is a human, the very species Anaxtis is scared of. I'll be back in 3 days. I'll bring back a gift, so look forward to it. I understand. Yeah. I'll pick up soon. Who's calling me on my day off? Jinwoo SSI called me first. That scared me. What's the matter? Are you thinking of joining my team? That's not it. Junyoung SSI, do you still want to repay me for saving your life? Of course. Please feel free to ask anything of me. I just have a couple of things that I'd like to have. 1 week later. Ha! These Naga bastards are nothing. They can't even put a scratch on me. No, that's not it. It's because I'm just too great. It's due to the difference in class, the power of a noble bloodline. Because I'm a descendant of the dragons. There he goes again. They can't put a scratch on us either. Be quiet. Have you forgotten about how we had to listen to an entire epic about him because we said something unnecessary? He puts descendant of the dragons at the end of every sentence. He couldn't even mutter a word when we were crossing the territory of the blood leopard. Yeah, since he barely survived the last time. What did you say? We were just amazed. The legendary descendant of the dragons. So powerful. You're not just the descendant of the dragons. You're a dragon yourself. Ha ha ha. You're flattering me. So, when will we arrive at the Naga labyrinth? I'm getting sick of this journey, and I wish to take a break on their throne. That throne belongs to King Anaxtus. You should refrain from saying anything that would anger. Ah. I found another Naga. Is it a worker? I guess the labyrinth is close by. They probably have no idea that we're invading them. The worker is running away. We can't let it get away. We'll be able to find the Naga labyrinth if we follow it. Hurry up. Draken. Wait for us. Hyuk hyuk. I finally caught you. I'll have you pay for making me, Drakenim, sweat. Lead us to the labyrinth. Are descendants of a dragon always this noisy? Ha! Who dares dirty the name of the dragons? Good work. I guess you don't value your life. Who are you? Reveal yourself. Who am I? I'm the Naga King. Human. Why is a human? We need to report back to Anaxtus Nim. Don't worry. Just trust me. We just need to get rid of him right here. Come at me, human Naga King. I, descendant of the dragons, shall face you myself. Ha, descendant of the dragon this, descendant of the dragon that. I must have heard it more than 50 times while waiting. Dominique, start it. Nagas. Arise. An ambush? How cowardly. Ha. Wait. Workers. You're holding it backwards. Idiot. Aim. Hey. Your labyrinth might be new, but that's no excuse to endanger your workers. How could you call yourself a king? Don't you feel sorry for your workers? Workers and a servant are more than enough to deal with you. Fire. So dark and somber. The traps and the maze exist to take away intruders' lives. Breaks are unimaginable here, and food is scarce. The workers are exploited for physical labor until they die. This is what a labyrinth is. It's no paradise, human. Oh, mighty Flood Dragon King. I have informed the Naga Labyrinth of the Flood Dragon Labyrinth's existence. They will soon start preparing for battle. However, the amount of down gems they can acquire is limited due to a lack of manpower. And I plan on exploiting that desperation of theirs to convince them to subjugate the blood leopard for the chance to earn a fortune. Please invade the Naga Labyrinth while their forces are weakened after battling against the blood leopard. You might even enter a labyrinth without a master. I will do so immediately. Good work. Instruct the Naga Labyrinth to launch an attack on the blood leopard a week after they arrive in its territory. The Flood Dragon Labyrinth shall depart for the Naga Labyrinth tomorrow. As I've mentioned, it'll take the flood dragons at least 2 months, considering their speed. You won't have to worry about that. I don't plan on taking a normal route. There's no need to panic. Lowly human weapons can't quack harm us. It's dangerous. We need to report back to King Anaxtus. Retreat. We can't. We're already surrounded. These are illegally manufactured firearms and ammunition that were meant to be used against the underworld beasts. They were mass-produced in the hopes that the illegal business would make it big, but it ultimately failed. The firepower was increased significantly, so you probably can't use it for too long due to safety concerns. You must have quite a lot of connections. You meet all kinds of people when you wander around the underworld. You're already so much stronger than I am without these kinds of things, so why? I'm just using them as tools. They're quite useful against soldiers, though they aren't particularly lethal. Dominique seems to like them too. Wait, theirs isn't a single scratch on me. Hee hee. Oh haha. Look. Your attacks are nothing to me. Weak. Too weak. Oh ha ha. Is this all you've got? The Naga really don't amount to much. That annoying bastard. Wait. I'll handle that guy. Oh. The king himself is coming. Ouch. Ouch. It hurts. Master. I'm alright. What's with this guy? He's really strong. His physique is better than that of the hell spiders, heh. I got a hit in. But he has awful battle instincts. Is this a joke? Or is he mocking me? This guy doesn't have a weak spot. I've already strengthened myself with a parasite, but I still can't find a single weak spot. Master. Did I get him? As expected from the descendant of the dragons. You share the same weakness. Bullshit. I have no such thing. That area between your wing scapula. That shall be the target for my next attack. This guy, the aura around him has changed. After he heard about his weak spot. The aura around him has totally changed. The ground is shaking and the air is vibrating. He's finally revealed his true self. None of my attacks were going through even before this happened. I need to attack him with everything I've got before he has a chance to attack me. He's not moving. Nice. The attack went through. His weak spot is wide open, but he's not even budging. Is this a trap? I shouldn't give this too much thought. Just show me what you're aiming for. A few seconds earlier. Scary. His eyes are scary and blue. Flood Dragon King, that bastard. He didn't mention a word of this. He said this was just a small labyrinth owned by a little brat. He said the master was incompetent and absolutely clueless. He even knows about my weak spot. Am I really going to die here? The places where I was hit earlier still hurt. Being sturdy doesn't mean I take no damage. I probably won't be able to move around for a month after this. Alright, time to run. I'll pretend to let him off the hook and make my escape. He's gone. Blood. My blood. Ack. I've never seen it before. I'm gonna die. I'm really gonna die. I'll really die at this rate. Am I really gonna die like this? I'm dying. Please spare me. I won't do it again. I was just following orders. I didn't want to do this. I'm just a hired mercenary. The Flood Dragon King is the bad one. Please spare me. Master, we've finished dealing with the Flood Dragon soldiers. Good work. So, what should we do with him? I think we could put the draconic materials to good use. Hayek. Killing him won't be a problem, but processing will, since normal attacks won't even scratch him. I swear. I swear I'll be loyal to you. Huh? You'll betray your current employer and swear loyalty to me? That's right. In that case, wouldn't you end up betraying me the same way as well? I swear on the name of the dragons. I will never betray the Naga King. Stop trying to pull something funny. Master, it's the vow of a dragon. What is that? Dragons are a very noble and egotistical species. It's a restriction they place on themselves to gloat about the greatness of their species. If they break their vow, they will immediately die in excruciating pain. But this is quite odd. He doesn't have wings, so he's probably not a pure-blood dragon, but the vow still came into effect. Is that true? Yes. What she said is completely correct. So it's like a penalty that runs in your bloodline? That's correct. That's some crazy ego. Hee hee. I can't sense a single shred of nobility in you. But I suppose I could take you in. Your sturdy body will probably be of use somehow. Thank you. Thank you. A few days later, near the Naga Labyrinth. So you're saying that the Flood Dragon King is sturdier than you? Why yes. And he doesn't have a weak spot either. Not to my knowledge. My king. What? I just wanted to say that it may look fine on the outside, but it still hurts on the inside, and it does hurt pretty bad. I consider dodging an act of betrayal. Don't you prefer pain over death? I need to test out the weapons anyway. Is that possible? Yes, but it will only cover up till the entrance. Then I'll leave it up to you. I guess I should get going now. Where are you going this time, Master? Will you bring human weapons back again? No. Human weapons don't offer enough firepower. Besides, they're not easily accessible either. Well, I'm basically dipping into my savings. Savings. I'll be back before Rikshasha returns. My king, when will you allow me to move again? My king. An hour later, inside the Payudi gate. This spot should be fine. Would you like to synchronize the maps? Yes, synchronize them all. A portion of the maps of the labyrinths on the first, second, and third floor of the underworld has been synchronized. Great. I now have a path to the place where I previously hid down gems. During my last expedition, it took around 4 days to go from the first floor to the abandoned labyrinth on the third floor. That's how long it will take for an adult male to walk that distance. A sprinting adult male is around 9 times faster than a walking adult male. Parasite, Find all the down gems within your sight. And dungeon babies are faster than normal humans by, enhance my leg strength too. You have obtained a lowest grade down gem. 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 Master. Nothing happened in the 2 days I was gone, right? Yes, it was very quiet. Did something happen when you headed up? I went all the way to the 3rd floor of the underworld. How did you get so many down gems? It's all thanks to the parasite. It seems like a lot, but the upper floors of the underworld only contain lowest grade down gems, so it's actually not much. This is far from enough for the war. Now, I need to figure out how I should use these. Even if I were to spawn hundreds of grade 1 and 2 soldiers, it'd be useless if their attacks don't go through. It takes around a week to upgrade a labyrinth. Rikshasha said that we have around a month, right? Yes. Although there's no way to confirm if it's actually true. I guess I need to gamble. Commencing labyrinth upgrade to level 5. Time remaining until completion, 06D 23 hours 59 minutes. After I upgrade the labyrinth, I'll spawn grade 5 soldiers to prepare for the war. I'll spawn some units right now too, just in case. Was it a grade 4 unit? I totally forgot about it. I'll spawn a Naga gatekeeper. The Flood Dragon King decided to cut through the Blood Leopard's territory instead of going around it. He'll probably use siege beasts to dig a tunnel. It takes around a day round trip from the Naga Labyrinth to the Blood Leopard's territory. The Flood Dragon King should arrive within a week. The war will then commence. No matter how hard they struggle, the Naga Labyrinth has no chance of. Stop. She's a mercenary in our labyrinth. Master, the map. I have it right here. It looks good. Great work. You seem to have a lot more soldiers now. I used the down gems I've been saving up. You might stand a chance at subjugating the Blood Leopard with these forces. What are you talking about? They'll be in charge of guarding the Naga Labyrinth while I'm away. The soldiers that will participate in the subjugation are here. They're the elites of the Naga Labyrinth. Although it's only because they have battle experience. It's impossible. These forces are far from enough. Don't worry, I'll be fighting alongside them as well. That's not the issue here. You will be wiped out, you might even forfeit your life. We've arrived at the Blood Leopard's territory. Please order your soldiers to stay as silent as possible from now on. Although the Blood Leopard doesn't have that great of a defense, it specializes in stealth and ambush. It's impossible for us to find it before it finds us, so we need to prepare for an ambush. You seem to be quite nervous. Of course. The Blood Leopard has reigned as the apex predator of this region for a couple of decades. I wouldn't want to die while doing mercenary work. Although I agreed to be their guide, this is quite dangerous. I'm not sure if I can even get out of here alive. I sense killing intent. A controlled but heavy killing intent that sends chills down my spine. This means that the Blood Leopard is nearby. No, wait. It's right behind me. Rikshasha. You will die the moment you look back. I will now interrogate you. Master, I don't understand what you mean by that. You don't seem to like the way I run my labyrinth. A lenient environment, workers getting breaks, a weak and naive group. There's no way they can survive in the underworld like this. I understand why you think that way. But I was also born in the underworld, and I am well aware of how things work here. I care for my allies and kill my foes. This is my policy. And unfortunately, I can't ascertain which one of the two you are yet. I'm just here to do mercenary work. You deceived the Naga Labyrinth and sold information about us to the Flood Dragon King. I will give you a chance to defend yourself. Master, I did work under the Flood Dragon King before, but that isn't enough of a reason to interrogate me like this. I was indeed discourteous on the first day we met, but if I was truly a spy of the Flood Dragon King, I would not have revealed the fact that I worked for them in the past. And I did spy for you. And what I get in return is. But you might not be telling the truth. You're mistaken. Everything I've told you is the truth. That's right, and that's exactly what I don't understand. Just what is your objective? For what reason do you go back and forth between two labyrinths like this? I have no objectives of any sort. As I've already said, you have no evidence. Rikshasha. Have you ever heard of parasites? I've only heard about them, but I haven't seen one for myself before. I have one attached to me. And so do you. When did you? When I first met you, I put a fragment of my parasite on your body. It seems to have enjoyed the journey with you. It was able to get a tour of the Flood Dragon Labyrinth. You saw everything, and you're still giving me another chance. I've come to like you. Sigh. I seem to have looked down on you a little too much. I actually have no relation to both the Flood Dragon Labyrinth and the Naga Labyrinth. I just wanted to get revenge. On the Spirit King. I'm going to die. I already told you. You'll die if you look back. The Blood Leopard. I didn't even notice. It's camouflaging itself even in battle. It's quite fast too. However, I can see you. Even though I knew that he had become the master of a labyrinth despite being a human, I still looked down on him. No matter how strong a human is, they're ultimately still a human. And that opinion has not changed. How long are you planning on sitting there? Because I just can't regard him as a human. We'll continue our conversation after the battle. You're free to run away if you'd like, but if we ever cross paths again, you won't even be given the chance to speak. He's a monster born of the labyrinth. You can see the Blood Leopard. That's right. It's not moving. Is it recovering? It's the first time I've used so much of the parasite's power. It's draining my stamina too quickly. If this goes on, I'll have to fight without the parasite. I need to finish this as soon as possible. Master. The Blood Leopard. There's another one. This bastard. This reminds me of the spider situation from before. I'm getting sick of it. Parasite, save your powers. If we continue like this, we'll run out of stamina before we can defeat them both. Master, I'll support the Naga. Stay back. But just stand by and watch if you're trying to assess the situation. I don't want any help from you. Don't look down on my soldiers. Banatra Kum. How's the mage doing? Not good. They'll die if we stop the healing. That one's special to the king. We need to protect them at all costs. Until our king arrives. Our Naga labyrinth had fallen. After decades of ruin, we were finally able to establish ourselves in the underworld once more, and I am the honorable first soldier of the Naga labyrinth. I vowed that I would survive until I witnessed in person the change that our king has promised us to ensure that we do not fall again. But my vow to defeat enemies alongside the king was wrong from the start. The requirements have been satisfied. The Hall of Heroes is responding to the desire of the Naga soldier. How could I call myself a soldier when I, the very being that should be protecting the king, am waiting for the king to protect me instead for fear of death? Today, you will die with me. The Naga soldier's heroization has begun. I thought it was supposed to be the apex predator of this territory. How disappointing. And no way, heroization. Don't tell me, did he only bring a few soldiers because he knew this would happen? No, that's impossible. The prerequisite for heroization is that one must possess a certain level of experience. It will only occur after the individual gains enlightenment, or when they experience an event that triggers the process. But that's something that not even the one undergoing heroization can predict. It's definitely not something that can be triggered intentionally by someone. But, the things he said up until now, don't look down on my soldiers. Just how many more surprises do you have in store for me? King of Naga. The heroization of the Naga soldier has been completed. Heroization. I don't know what happened, but there's one thing I know for certain. There's no need for me to hold back anymore. Where did all that spirit from earlier go? Come out of hiding and fight me. No, that's how blood leopards normally fight. Show yourself. They'll keep going into hiding to make up for their weak body. Even after the heroization, he still can't be like his master, who can track the movements of the blood leopard with his eyes. The soldier isn't even close to being able to follow the speed of the blood leopard. Moreover, he needs to protect the wounded Nagas. The situation isn't favorable for him. Mage. Are you alright? Your organs have been damaged. You shouldn't move just yet. That's right, we're still in the middle of a battle, so you should. Mage. Why are you pushing yourself when you're on the verge of death? Are you crazy? I've used most of my remaining mana to create this wall. You won't have to worry about us anymore. You won't be able to break this wall even if you use all your power, so rest assured, and go wild. I don't agree with everything you just said, but that's fine. That being said, you should cover the floor as well. The floor? Because I'm going to blow this place apart. I can see you. This bastard's doing it again. You're not getting away this time. There's a limit to how shameless you can be. I can't believe you're using your opponent's wall to protect yourself. You seem to be looking down on us a bit too much. Caught you. Don't overreact just yet. This is only the beginning. So damn persistent. Marvelous. My king. I just wanted you to earn me some time, but to think that you'd finish the job yourself. Great work, hero. But, we lost an ally due to my shortcomings. Are you planning on making their death be in vain? I would never. Whether you're just a soldier or a hero, you're all Naga. And it's the same with the workers who fight with guns. Since they lost their life while fighting fearlessly, they're no different than you. You're getting full of yourself if you're thinking that you're responsible for everyone just because you became stronger. You must also refrain from ranking your allies by evaluating their worthiness. I will ingrain it in my heart, my liege. Criticism rather than compliment to his terrified soldier. To a righteous Naga soldier, criticism would be more beneficial than compliments. I truly can't question his qualifications as a king. Since you've accomplished a great feat, I should reward you. I haven't rewarded you for the spider incident either. Quintus. It's a name used by great military generals in history. A hero needs a name befitting their title. From now on, you are Quintus, the general of the Naga army. General of the army. It's unfortunate to have to throw away the rest of the ingredients from the blood leopard, but since their skin isn't sturdy enough to make armor out of them,